So I wasn't diagnosed with dyslexia like my sister was, but over time I just kind of figured it out. I don't think either of us had it really bad, but you know, it's still something you have to overcome. And even when it's light, when I really noticed it, because as a kid I didn't know anything about it, but as I got older, when I would get tired, I would notice discrepancies in how I read things, and I found it actually kind of funny, especially when we were driving somewhere and I would read the funniest billboard and then I would look back and it did not say what I saw the first time. So I was always kind of like enjoying the the dyslexia, but I know that it's there. Like I said, it wasn't really like super bad. Like it didn't. Some people it really hinders them. It's really difficult. Um, I think it probably did hinder me more than I knew, but I had my parents really worked with me in reading and all that and stuff, so I ended up doing really well in that area. But like I said, when I get tired, another thing was I didn't realize how connected that dyslexia is to not knowing your left from your right, and oh my, I had a hard time with that, and people would try to come up with tricks and stuff, and I never did the writing on my shoe thing. That might have helped. but I think I was around like 18 when somebody told me about the L, like how you spell L, left with L. It's an L. And I was like, oh yay, I will remember my left from my right now. So I was working at Burger King at the time, and I was at the register, and this guy came up for directions, and I was so happy because I knew which way was left. This is going to go totally wrong. So in my head, I see the L. Now I have to use my other hand to hold my camera, so. So we've got that L sign, and in my head, I see L-E-F-T. It's that way. When you write left, you end up going towards the right. I don't know, it sounds dumb now. But anyways, I knew I was right because I used my fingers, and then he's like, you mean right? And I'm like, no, it's, because I saw the L-E-F-T. It's right. I mean, left. Anyways, I was wrong. And then I realized later on when he left what I had done, and I felt like an idiot. So I was just listening to a thing about dyslexic people having problems with left and right. And I looked in the comments, and people were like, which hand do you write with? You just go with your predominant hand. If it's the left hand, then it's that way, or right hand that way. I'm ambidextrous. So I do have, though I was raised writing with my right hand, but I have the ability to use my left hand. So my brain doesn't automatically associate, well, it probably does now, but at that time it still didn't really associate which hand I would write with, because I could use either hand. I did, like I said, I was predominant, like I was raised with the right hand, so I write better. But still, like, I was younger then, and I don't think my brain had figured a lot of this out. Ugh. Also, feel free to stitch this with your funny, or maybe not so funny, dyslexic, or even ambidextrous stories. And trying to get that dang left and right, for crying out loud. I'd love to hear your stories, and tag me.